Men that cannot handle rejection makes the world a less safer place. And we saw that on this episode of Paradise, episode 5, with these two haters here. I'm talking about Gary and Ennis. And to those men, if you can't handle rejection, please seek help. Please seek therapy. What's up, y'all? Welcome to Lawrence Support. Talk about my review of episode 5 of Paradise. And this one right here was another banger, another great hour of great television. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, like, and please do not forget to comment. Let's talk about Paradise episode 5. And yes, I know, I know what you was thinking. You had all the smoke for Ennis, but it turns out that Gary, low key, high key, was the biggest op thus far. Let's talk about it, y'all. Now, episode 5, we get that backstory of Teri and how she got caught up with things that was going down in Atlanta. I love how they always go in and out between the timelines, right? And as far as Gary and Xavier, they're meeting face to face back off episode number 4, right? Gary comes out and starts telling, the situation. Where is Teri at? How she got captured, kidnapped, the whole nine, right? And we get that right there. But when it comes to Gary, we find out that Gary's a mailman and he's online, right? Meeting a guy by the name of Ennis, right? They end up becoming friends through playing looks like a Call of Duty type game, right? But his boy Ennis is kind of a conspiracy theorist, right? Because apparently they end up forming a bond, talking about Gary and Ennis. They both believe that, hey, the world is about to end, right? When it comes to the bunker, when it comes to the president, stuff like that. And we need to create a plan. That's how they end up becoming friends. And it actually works because guess what? The world is getting ready to end. And these two right here are about to join forces and start their own rally with other people that are like-minded individuals like them. So they both go down that extremist, kind of like rabbit hole on the internet, on YouTube, things of that nature. And when it does happen, Gary ends up coming to take the truck. He's a mailman, so he ends up coming to meet up Ennis. But even before that, while Gary's delivering this mail, he ends up meeting this little boy. This little boy is by the name of Bean. It looks like Bean is coming from a broken home. His parents are there, strung out on drugs. And Gary tells Bean, listen, the world's about to end. Do you want to come with me? The kid's like, I'm hungry. The kid doesn't end up coming with Bean. Now you got Ennis, Bean, and Gary. They're all together, right? So now the group is officially formed. And then that's when we end up finding out, even when it comes to Teri, right? We see her down in Atlanta. We see them seeing that plane end up crashing. She ends up seeing Bean, right? She's like, Bean. Well, she doesn't know that his name is Bean, but she's like, well, little boy, are you alone? Do you have any parents, anything like that? Because keep in mind, Gary and Ennis, was out looking for supplies and stuff like that. That's when Teri ends up meeting Gary Ennis. And he's like, ma'am, listen, the world's about to end. She's trying to make that phone call to Xavier, but of course the power lines is down. Her phone goes out. He's like, ma'am, the world's about to end. You want to come with us? She comes with them, and then that's how we end up getting that more of a deeper dive of a backstory when it comes to her. Now, as far as Xavier, he ends up finding out, where Teri is located, right? Well, apparently there's these men, that's what we thought. These men that are, they're holding Teri hostage. And, when it comes to Xavier, he's like, I'm going to create a diversion. I'm going to create a bomb. Because, he has to get those supplies, things of that nature right there. I'm going to create a bomb and I'm going to get my wife back come hell, high water. And now you have this whole group while they're putting this plan together. Also, they get this whole group of these men, right? Gary and Ennis are leading the pack, but Ennis is actually the ringleader. And when it comes to Teri, Teri, for her, while she's with these men, she's still trying to reach out to Xavier, right? And she ends up creating that device. Well, they end up using that device to transmitter. I was looking for a transmitter to reach out to Xavier. It's like 2 or 3 years past, still no word. Of course, the device ends up getting destroyed, and that's when she goes off the rails. She's kind of upset. It was Ennis. Ennis later apologized because now we know Teri can officially escape. Well, that's what we thought, right? And I love how they did try to make They try to make it home for those individuals, even for like Bean, right? It was Christmas. They was giving out presents and stuff like that. But one thing's for sure, Ennis and Gary are definitely lonely individuals, as they said before. They definitely are haters, both of them. You know what I'm saying? So of course, Bean lets them know that, hey, I did end up seeing a train, right? This train, could be a pathway for Terry to get to Colorado, right? And when Bean comes back, Ennis and Gary, they go check it out. These individuals give them information that they need. But as they're walking back, both these men have feelings for women, in the camp, right? As they're walking back, that's when Ennis says, you know what? Now that that train with those other individuals is going to Colorado, that's really all that Terry needs. But for some reason, somehow, some way, that was a trigger for Gary. Because Gary ends up shooting Ennis. He shoots Ennis. You got Bean right there looking at the whole thing. And of course, unfortunately, when it comes to um, Gary, he's not exactly telling Xavier the whole truth. We find out that this man was falling head over heels for Xavier's wife, which is wild to me. Teri, right? Because we saw him go in for that hug. He ended up looking like he wanted to kiss her. She's like, listen, I can't give you that, but I can do my best to help the team out while we're down here, while this apocalypse is going on. That man fell in love, but he told Xavier, listen, nothing didn't happen, right? I didn't get close or anything like that. I was just a lonely man, and somehow I fell in love with your wife. And Xavier knew that something that Gary wasn't telling the exact whole truth when it comes to the whole situation with Teri, right? And I love how Xavier did end up giving up the baby to those other two female. I think they were lesbians, right? He let them hold the baby while he was out trying to get the supplies, everything that he need for his next step to rescue Teri, right? Now Gary, that man Gary, listen, I didn't see it coming. That was a major plot twist. I thought it was gonna be Ennis that was going to somehow end up lying to Teri and them, but the way it's looking is going to up being Gary. But again, Bean ended up seeing this. I'm pretty sure Bean is going to go back to Teri to let her know the truth about what's going on when it came to them and the situation of them potentially trying to escape. And one of the things that completely pissed me off was when we ended up finding out that Ennis did end up destroying the device, right? The transmitter. And that just made me upset because that group, Gary and Ennis, at the end of the day, those two men, they were jealous. They was jealous of the love that Teri had for her husband. I think these two men, they never truly experienced love like that, and a lot of people haven't in their life. So it made them become jealous. It made them become envious, right? And that's basically how the episode ends. We know that we got that backstory with Teri, right? We got that right there. We know Ennis and Gary are both evil people. Gary is not as innocent as we thought he was. We thought he was an innocent mailman, right? In a Xbox Live Call of Duty chat room, right? And of course, we know Xavier. He's getting ready to form that plan to get his wife back, hopefully, once and for all this time. Because I feel like we've been getting a run around ready for him to go ahead and get Teri. We can get down to the nitty gritty. But then it's like, what's going to happen now? Also, with Gary, will Xavier? I feel like he's still missing some parts. So will Xavier have to take care? Will Xavier have to take Gary down? Because now it looks like Gary low key captured, you know what I'm saying? Like he may be in it too now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so many wild theories. This is a good show that makes you think. Like you think you got something figured out, but then you don't. This is one of those type shows. So I'm loving Paradise thus far because we're on season 2, season 3 on the way soon. That's my thoughts about Paradise episode 5. Another great banger, another great banger. And as always, thank you for tuning in to the Lawrence Report.